send blow to former county boss Mike Sonko as DPP Haji appeals his 20 million shillings draft case resolved. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm in the company of Winfred Mudhoni. My name is ODIDA. Let's get started. Now, 2 people were shot and killed by suspected Al-Shabaab militants who had disguised themselves as Kenyan military and erected an illegal roadblock in Witu area, Lamu County. The gang also burnt down a motorcycle as they conducted an illegal search before they were confronted by police. This comes just a day after Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata said the government had deployed more personnel in the area and especially in the expansive Boni Forest to pursue the gunmen operating from there.
The insecurity issue in Lamu County has raised concerns on the safety of the residents, despite government efforts in restoring security in the area. 2 people on December 28th shot and killed by a suspected Al-Shabaab terrorist who were disguised as Kenyan military. The gang went ahead and erected an illegal roadblock in Witu area, Lamu County, and burned down a motorcycle as they conducted an illegal search before being confronted by the police. The attack comes just 1 day after Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata said the government will deploy enough police reservices in areas of Witu and Pandago in Lamu County in a bid to boost security following an attack that left 2 people dead after a shooting by gunmen believed to be Al-Shabaab militants in the Pandago area, Lamu County on December 26th.
NPR, tutawaongeza hapa. Lakini mmesikia governor akisema kwamba hili tatizo litakuja kumalizika tukitatua yale mambo yanahusiana na shamba.
The attacks have elicited a debate on the cause of the attacks, on whether the suspected Al-Shabaab terrorists are the genesis of insecurity in the area or land issues as noted by Lamu County Governor Issa Timami.
Hatutaki watu porojo waanze kusema hii ni Al-Shabaab. Hao wanaosema ni Al-Shabaab wanawajua hao Al-Shabaab. Hii ni uhalifu. Labda unahusiana na mambo ya ardhi.
Lamu residents are now calling on the national government to foster security in the region domiciled near the Kenya-Somalia border, which has been under attack in the recent past days. Israel Omwai, KUTV.
The taxpayer expenditure report, which was launched today at Stanley Serova Hotel in Nairobi, highlights decline on own-source revenue due to wastage and insufficient revenue collection in Nairobi and 4 other counties. The report, which was conducted by National Taxpayers Association, further recommends collaboration and accountability on own-source revenues.
The taxpayer expenditure report on own revenue source for the year 2017 to 2022 has put Nairobi County on the spot for the wastage and insufficient of county revenue collection.
On-source revenue is not a matter of legislation only, that we are passing finance acts. The question is, are people seeing value for what they are paying? So when taxpayers in Nairobi interact with such things, you will not find them paying tax. If it is parking, they would rather pay mtu hapo kando 100 ama 50 na wasilipe kwa system, si ndio?
The report of control of budget also highlights 4 counties with similar problem that have continuously posted downward trajectory of all source revenue.
So the county must, and all government entities must show us that when we pay revenue, because paying revenue is expensive, it is more than an official payment. So for me to pay the higher official payment, I must not be able to see such things in audit reports for my county. The county should develop and implement strategies to enhance on-source revenue.
The launch of on-source revenue report in Nairobi County, which centered its report on the implication on marginalized groups such as women, youths, and persons living with disability, further underscored the gaps that need to be filled in the targeted groups.
So if we are saying that this revenue stream might affect them, were they involved at the point of developing it? Was there public participation? That is not our standard public participation where we call everyone. But if this revenue stream, you are sure, will affect women, have you had conversations with them?
In its recommendation, the National Taxpayers Associations want more collaboration on revenue matters. The tax force also wants accountability on own revenue source. The National Taxpayers Association also recommends other counties to benchmark with Embu and Garissa County to borrow a leaf from them. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, property of unknown value went up in smoke at Masosa area in Kisii town hours after a tragic bus accident in which one person perished and several passengers injured. The inferno, whose cause was not immediately established, broke out at midnight and razed garages, vehicles under repairs, eateries and shops. Masosa area along Makutano Nyankongo bypass is known for its artisan jokali activities and pockets of informal settlements. However, the merry-making season was not all merry after midnight inferno left residents of Masosa counting losses after properties of unknown value was destroyed, these including eateries, vehicles, among others.
Mabilioni ya pesa yameungua hapa ambaye idadi ya pesa ambaye siwezi jua kabisa, lakini ni pesa mingi ambayo imeungua. Mainjini zimeungua, vitu vyenye ambayo vinachomelea hapa vimeungua vingi sana katika hii idara ya Masosa.
Firefighters from Kisii and Nyamira counties, however, managed to contain the fierce fire by dawn as the property owners cried foul. Area chairman of the affected business community, Peter Arita, claimed the fire incident was among the several witnessed in the town where business people incurred massive losses, appealing for cooperation from stakeholders including Governor Simba Arati to assist the affected, including organizing a funds drive.
Katika hii town yenyewe tumekuwa na shida mbalimbali ambaye tunapata sisi kama wafanyabiashara hapa. Wakati mwingine tulikuwa huko karibu na Gekomba, tena vioski yetu iliungua hivyo hivyo. Na hii tena imekuja kuungua hapa.
Affected residents petitioned the county government to consider compensating the business owners owing to huge family commitments facing them in the new year.
Hizi nyumba za hapa jua kali zimechomeka zote, vitu vyote vilikuwa ndani, wafanyikazi wapo wameenda hasara sana.
The Masosa fire incident comes hours after a Modern Coast bus lost control and plunged into River Nyakomisaru, leaving one dead and several others injured. A fallout is looming between Kisii County government and residents of Kisii Central Sub-County over a new but unwanted dump site. The 3-week-old dump site is located adjacent to Kari DEB Primary School, prompting parents to raise their concerns of health and security of the pupils. The residents, who say there was no public participation to decide the location of the dump site, are now threatening mass action should Governor Simba Arati fail to reverse that decision.
Residents in Kisii Central Sub-County have expressed their opposition to a new dump site which they say was operationalized without factoring their opinions despite its glaring negative health impacts on them.
Ili kuweza kuconserve ama kudumisha mazingira safi, gavana huyo amekiuka sheria zote.
The location of the dump site has become more of an issue considering that it is located near this school, Kari DEB Primary. Parents in the school mainly worry that this puts their children at risk of contracting diseases which they say will affect their school time and have financial ramifications in terms of hospital bills. Kalen Bonareri is one such parent.
Tumestukia tu uchafu imemwagwa kwa shule, na hiyo ni hofu yetu kama wazazi, watoto watakuwa hatarini.
Though meant to help solve the garbage menace in Kisii town, Juhudi Africa Program Communications Director Bernard Nyamwaro says the county government's move contravenes the residents' constitutional right to a clean environment.
Kila mwana Kenya ana haki ya kuishi na kumiliki katika mazingira safi na pia ambayo yanaweza kuangaziwa na kuangaliwa kwa kizazi hiki na ambacho kinakuja.
Kama hutaitoa tutafanya maandamano, tutakupeleka kotini. Ya tatu, tutakutoa kwa ofisi. Hatuwezi kukuweka kwa ofisi ukuje kutusumbua sisi. Tulikuweka kwa ofisi utufanyie kazi.
Another standoff was earlier reported at Nyatieko in Kitutu Churches South as Governor Simba Arati's government tries to solve the garbage problem in his county. Dennis Omondi, KUTV.
Over 70 widows from Ololtoto area in Narok South Sub-County have a reason to smile after they received food donations from the Narok County Peace Association Group. Narok County Peace Ambassador Joshua Kaputa said the food was given to the community that was hit hard by a prolonged dry spell that made many families struggle to get food. Kaputa said the association understands the challenges vulnerable families face, hence the reason the organization volunteered to give them food during this festive season. He too urged the community to be mindful of the less fortunate people in the society and help put a smile on their faces during this season.
We thank God that we are able to donate food to the widows. These are widows that actually do not have any other place that they look up to. They only put their trust in God. And today we are here because God has sent us to be a blessing.
About 670 liters of illicit brew was destroyed at Pulunga and Silanka estates in the outskirts of Narok town. Narok Central Division Assistant County Commissioner Abdi Shakur Ali say they got a tip-off from the members of the public informing them of the illegal business in the area, prompting the action. Ali said he mobilized the chiefs and the Nyumba Kumi elders who together raided the drinking den and destroyed 670 liters of a mixture of changa and 49 bottles of second-generation spirit. The raid comes a few days after National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse NACADA and the county government of Narok held a sensitization campaign to sensitize residents on the effects of illicit brew. All right, we are taking our first short break here at KUTV. We still have a lot lined up for you, so stay tuned.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Ukiwa na dukuduku la michezo, tunafungua sanduku la dukuduku kwa ufahamu zaidi. Kila danadana, mitimpo, mifiatuko na harakati zote ugani, sisi ni wako mwandani. Kukurukakara zote nyanjani, haziwezi kuangaziwa zaidi ya micharazo michezoni. Mimi mwanaspoti wako matata Peter Pinches Mwaora ndakuwa na jopo lenye maarifa sufufu, nikufahamishe na nikuburudishe wewe shabiki shakiki kwa uhakiki na kindakindaki.
You need to look for high quality friends.
I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, you know Portmore. That's my village.
Sanga tu chini hapo ukinyepia ukikatia mademu akipita.
Sina pesa saa hii, nimekuja kukopesa choo.
possessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You are watching KUTV Primetime News. Now, several people on Thursday escaped death after a western-bound Climax bus was involved in a multiple car crash along the Nairobi-Naivasha highway. The accident involved 5 vehicles, a bus, a 14-seater matatu registered under 2NK shuttle, a Probox, a Toyota Vitz, and another car. Witnesses say the overspeeding Probox was overtaking the Vitz when the accident happened. Police officers arrived in time to aid in the evacuation of passengers from the vehicles. Fortunately, no death was reported on this latest accident that has occurred during this festive season. A family in Muthwani, Machakos County, is disturbed after a perpetrator of incest, defilement, and sodomy was released on bond at Kangundo Law Courts for lack of evidence. The said perpetrator, Samuel Muthuka Munyao, 21 years, is said to have made it a norm of sleeping with his 30-year-old sister, who is mute. The suspect has also been defiling his mute sister's children, a 7-year-old girl and a boy 10 years.
Samuel Mudhuku Munyao, aged 21, was arrested for defiling his mute sister together with her 2 kids, a 7-year-old girl and a boy who is 10 years old, has been released on board to allow investigations to continue before resuming the hearing on February 2023. Reports claim that this has been happening under the curtains, with the suspect, who's the uncle of the children, persuading them with sweets to keep their mouths shut, but due to the frequent pain, the children were forced to reveal the heinous act to their father, who reported to the area sub-chief Boniface Madeka, who alerted the police. Additionally, 2 days ago, it was alleged that the mute mother was molested again and abused by an unknown person who was seen but could not be identified. However, according to reports, the grandmother of the children, who is also the mother of the mute lady, knew about it but kept quiet. It was also discovered that the mother has been locking up the mute lady inside a bathroom for hours without food and water. Collins Obonyo, Director of Recovery Mission, said it is against the law to lock up a person with a disability, and therefore action should be taken against the mother, adding that plans are underway to get a doctor who will come and assess the patient before rescuing her and placing her under medication. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
Such an inhuman act right there. We hope the family gets justice. Now, the Directorate of Public Prosecution, Nordin Haji, has filed an appeal at the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division, challenging the acquittal of former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko in his 20 million shillings graft case. DPP argues in his appeal that Milimani Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti, in his judgment, failed to state the offence of which Sonko was acquitted as required by law in such cases. In addition, Haji says the judge did not analyze evidence from the 19 prosecution. Chief Magistrate Ogoti cited lack of evidence when he set free former county boss Mike Sonko and his co-accused Anthony Mbok on the 21st of this month. Now, and across borders now, an underground Catholic movement started in 2002 with the secret ordination of 7 women in Germany by official male bishops. The movement has grown to 250 women globally, despite the Catholic Church's rule preventing women from becoming priests. VOA senior Washington correspondent Caroline Prizuti takes us to several masses to explain the international controversy.
Blessed be the name.
Catholic masses worldwide follow the same order with routine responses. But here's something irregular. Her.
This is my body, which will be given up for you.
The celebrant of this mass is not Father Kathleen.
These honorific titles do create a sense that, somebody's better than somebody else.
Kathleen Blank-Reither says she was ordained as a Roman Catholic priest 2 years ago, a forbidden female in a male religious hierarchy.
Every woman I know who's been ordained has gone through the experience of feeling this deep calling and knowing that this was the work she was called to do. This is the Holy Spirit.
But under canon law, the Catholic Church excommunicates women who say they practice as priests. The Reverend Aquinas Gilbo leads campus ministries at the Catholic University of America, the national university of the Catholic Church.
They're going through all the motions of celebrating a sacrament, but they wouldn't be valid.
But Reither is not alone. There are about 10 other women saying Mass in the Washington, D.C. area, in a global movement that includes 250 women. The countries with the most female priests are highlighted in red, with Germany and Ireland leading the way with 15 each. The countries seen in yellow have at least 2 women each who act as priests. In Colombia, 72-year-old Olga Lucia Alvarez says she was called to the priesthood to celebrate Mass in remote areas that lack male priests. In South Africa, VOA spoke to 3 women who celebrate Mass online and in person with a ministry based on social justice.
We are not paid to be priests, which means then those of us of working age have jobs, and many of us have jobs in social activism, whether it's around race or gender or disability.
During the service, male-centered words are changed to be more inclusive.
In the name of the Holy One, Creator, Liberator, and Breath of Life.
At an ongoing International Catholic Synod, churches list female priests as a major topic for discussion. But the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, disagrees.
The Church has spoken and said no. John Paul II said this with a definite formula. This door is closed.
The Church in ordaining only men follows the example of Christ himself, that the Church only does what it is that Christ himself did.
Meaning the Church mirrors Jesus' 12 disciples, the first priests, who were all men. Johannesburg priest Diane Willman calls that gender apartheid.
So separate, and you're supposed to be equal, but you're not equal. So what is that about? Why is there the separation that leads to the inequality?
And the Church was wrong about slavery. The Church was wrong in the doctrine of discovery, which they used to justify colonialism. The Church has been wrong before, and it is wrong now.
No one thinks that females will be allowed to officially celebrate Mass anytime soon, if ever. After nearly 2 millennia of Catholicism, the Vatican only permitted females as altar servers in 1994. Carolyn Prasuti, VOA News, Georgetown.
Kilele Health Association has launched Thamani Yetu Initiative, a social campaign which aims at providing 20,000 women and girls with awareness and education about cervical health and reaching 5,000 eligible women and girls with information and interventions to access screening and vaccination against cervical cancer. The Thamani Yetu Initiative is a response to the World Health Organization 2020 global strategy to accelerate the elimination of cervical cancer as a public health problem. Thamani Yetu targets to accelerate the elimination elimination of cervical cancer in Kenya by reaching 4 million women and girls in support of implementation of the WHO 90 to 70 to 90 strategy towards cervical cancer elimination. Now in sports, Erling Haaland scored a brace to become the fastest player to reach 20 Premier League goals as ruthless Manchester City ran riot over stubborn Leeds to reduce Arsenal's lead at the top of the table to 5 points.